All right. What is going on? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Henriksen, and welcome to the show. Happy Thursday. Hope that you are doing well. I'm doing pretty well today. It is just a beautiful day out right now. If you're in the Vancouver area, it has been a sunny weekend right now. It's the weekend as I'm recording this. I know it's Thursday as it drops, but I'm in the past by about 4 days, and it is beautiful today. And so I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope this finds you on a good morning or a good evening, whenever this does find you. But I want to just come on here and just kind of have a little chat today about a topic that I think a lot of people kind of wrestle with or think about on a regular basis. And I think that even if we don't use the same terminology and we don't use the same words, I think that a lot of us find that we have a lot of these similar thoughts, these similar ideas. And, sometimes we just don't know how to discuss them. And so I'm going to do my very best to talk about it today in the best terminology and words that I know of. And so that's kind of the only preface I can give for this episode. But I was talking to... Sorry, I'm going to have to take a little sip of my tea here. Okay, so... I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were just it was like we had a workout, and then we were just chatting after about life and about, our different thoughts, our different faiths, our different beliefs, and, we found quite a bit of common ground. We were discussing a lot about, how we think the world works and how life works, and, it seemed like we viewed the world in a lot of similar ways. And so we're getting along, we're having this discussion. He asks me a question of like, do you know, like, or do you feel like you're on the right path? And he starts asking me about like, if I feel like I'm in alignment with God's plan, if I feel like I'm on the right path in life. And, I spoke about my idea on that, and I kind of, discussed how it relates to my life. And then he just said, like, sometimes I feel like, this is what he says to me. He says, sometimes I feel like I'm not on the right path, or I don't know if I'm on the right path, or I don't even know if there is a right path. How do I know if I'm on the right path? And that is, I feel like, one of the greatest mysteries of life. I think that's one of the greatest things that we can think about or ponder in this world or in this life. And I'm not even going to be I'm not going to be the type of person to say that I know the answer to that, or I know, I'm not even going to try and pretend like I have a system or a way to tell, like, if I'm on the right path, or if you're on the right path, or if there is a right path, or anything like that. But what I will give you is my perspective and my point of view. And it's just a guess. It's just, and it's guess, and it's what I'll put it's the basket that I'll put my eggs in, I guess, is the best way to say it. It's kind of like, I'll let you know what I'm betting on. And so basically the way that I see it is, I do believe that God has a plan for all of us. And like I said, I'm going to try and use the best terminology I know. So keep an open mind if you don't view the world the same way that I do. But I believe that God does have a plan for all of us. I think that all of us do have a purpose, a meaning to our lives, a problem in society that we're all supposed to solve. Each and every one of us has a unique skill set, a unique way of feeling, our own feelings, and then how to translate that into the world, and how to let that impact others in either a positive or a negative way. And so I think that a lot of us, for a lot of us, we do have, like a unique skill set in order to help society. And I think that that's what a purpose is to use that skill set to help society, right? And I think that, the same way that everything in nature is perfectly attuned and perfectly designed to work hand in hand with each other, from, the way that micro fucking biomes interact with, single cell organisms or whatever, and the way that the bees and, the butterfly effect, like the way that the bees impact sparrows that impact, muskrats that impact, like other big mammals. That's, the way that everything has a trickle down effect and interacts, so well and so, hand in hand with each other in nature. And, I think that we're none of us are any different. I think that the same, as above, so below. I think that we all have our own place and our own function. And then, if we're not in that function, we feel kind of misaligned or confused or anxious or useless or, whatever it is. That's when we feel these, maladies in our emotions and our, in our life. And I think that when we do find our purpose, it's almost like, the jigsaw puzzle. Like when you find, there's only, a few spots where that thing's going to click in. And once it clicks in, it's like, you found your unique place in the puzzle. If that kind of makes sense. And I think that that's when we start to feel, fulfillment and alignment with our own values and an alignment with, the society that we're in. And, it's kind of a good indicator of, where and when or why you may feel happiness, and that feeling of, completeness or wholeness or oneness or connectiveness with yourself and the people around you and your surroundings. And so that's kind of, that sounds very woo woo. And I think that the type of episode is about as woo woo spiritual, hocus pocus that I get. But, what does that actually mean for people that are a little bit less emotionally developed like I am? What that means is basically like it's very obvious to see when you are in alignment with, God's plan for you or your purpose in this world. And that is simply like what you wake up every single day, how you feel. Do you like every single one of us is going to have challenges. None of us are going to have a day where we don't face any challenges. And so you can tell when you wake up in the morning if you're excited to do the work that you have to do. If your excitement level is higher than, the stress level or the anxiety level or the feeling of like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this today. If your excitement or your feeling like you need to complete something is greater than the feeling of like having to drag your heels to achieve anything, then that's a pretty good sign that you're in alignment with God's plan for you or with the purpose that you have in this world, with your unique space in this world. And then if, the opposite is true as well. If you find yourself waking up every morning feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do all of these things. I can't believe I have to do this. Like if that's the way you feel every single morning when you're, waking up, then you're probably not, fulfilling your purpose or you have other criteria that you're just not hitting or you're not, meeting. And that's not I'm not saying that to make you feel shame or guilt or anything like that. It should be a good indicator. Like, okay, I'm not broken. There's an alarm going off. I'm not feeling good. And there's probably a good reason for that. Like it's a clear and honest indicator. It's no reason to feel guilt or shame. It's actually just like, hey, the fire alarm is going off. And right now is the chance for you to respond to it before the flames start to build up and things get a lot worse. And so what happens, obviously, is... I think that we all have these types of gifts or, we have these types of skill sets or just something that we just, the benefits outweigh the feelings of not wanting to do it. And you see people, Jordan Peterson talked about, skateboarders and the way that they're willing to risk themselves and put themselves in harm's way for the excitement of when you actually successfully land a trick or anything like that. And basically what he's talking about is like, the enjoyment from doing something supersedes the pain, either, emotionally or physically, that you would endure if you fail at it. And if something excites you more than it hurts you, then obviously you're going to be more geared towards pushing through when times get tough. And so you'll actually be able to develop a deeper understanding and aptitude on how to do that thing. And then you could see how, naturally we've been programmed. Each and every one of us has been naturally programmed by design to develop and work towards certain functions in society. There's people that, that get used to saying things that people think either maybe will be entertaining or important, and in as kids, perhaps they're told in class to stay quiet and shut up, and they become class clowns because the feeling of saying something that other people value, even though it might upset the teacher, if somebody thinks it's entertaining or funny or smart, or he's maybe speaking up against something that an injustice or something like that, that the benefits outweigh the pain, which is obviously the teacher reprimanding you and telling you to be quiet. And those people either grow up to become like people that talk for a living, maybe marketers, maybe whistleblowers in corporations, or maybe some sort of their dialogue, their communication becomes their tool, their function in society. And then there's other people that are willing to do crazy stunts that, from heights or from, put their bodies at risk, and they're building bridges and fixing things for us. They're willing to risk their themselves physically in ways because they see the right benefits in it. There's millions and millions upon of skills that I don't have. Some of these are skills that I don't have, and each and every one of us is equipped with a different thing. There's other people that get super queasy, and they get very like I guess they have that, they go into shock, or they have that kind of response where if they see blood, they're just like fainting. And those types of people are probably good at if you can channel that, maybe you go into creating some sort of contingency plans for different companies or corporations to keep people safe. Or I don't know, like if you have that if you feel averse to that kind of stuff. And then there's other people that, I've even had people like this on the podcast that are not averse to those types of things. They're intrigued by it and interested by it. And those people are psychopaths. No, I'm just joking. But those people become, firefighters or paramedics or doctors, the types of people that don't feel squeamish around blood or injuries or anything like that. And those people, every single one of us, as you can see, like I've kind of explained, every single one of us has been fine-tuned and kind of designed to have some sort of a function or purpose in this world. And we have to have some sort of, we have to be open enough to listen to these types of messages. Sometimes it's not a direct message. Like, you're not just going to receive a letter in the mail from your creator that says, like, hey, do this thing. Those types of messages are going to be more subliminal and more... sometimes they're a lot more obvious than you'd think, but sometimes they're a lot more subtle than you think as well. And I think that even being able to see or notice or hear these types of messages speaks in and of the challenges that you're going to have to overcome in your life. And the sooner you can, we can all figure that out, the better, I guess. But, I guess that's just kind of the way that I think about recognizing or listening to the plan that God has for you, or the path that you're supposed to have in life, and understanding, sometimes, you're gonna need to pivot from a certain path. Sometimes your skill set or your purpose in life is going to shift, depending on the needs of your community around you. And, none of this stuff is like very concrete, black or white, binary type stuff. Like, it kind of is, that's why I said earlier, like, it is kind of like the woo-woo type stuff, because I think that a lot of it does come down to subjectivity, and that is something that I struggle with. I like to operate within the objective realm of, like, this is right, this is wrong, this is, X, Y, and Z, whatever it could be. And I think that a lot of this stuff kind of is subjective. I think that a lot of us, I don't think that there is like specifically one way that you're supposed to live and function in this world. And that's kind of a blanket statement as much as it is like a statement to each and every one of us individually. I think that there's no one right way for all of us to live. We all have our own different paths. We all have our own different, views and values and morals and etc. And then even individually, there's no one right way to function just individually, as Mark Henriksen, or as who you are, or as whatever it is. There's a plethora, a million, like an infinite amount of ways that I personally can live my life based on the circumstances I started with, and then every decision I've made after that. There's an infinite amount of ways that, my life could play out. And I think that there's more than one way that it works out successfully, and where I feel fulfilled and happy and connected and loved. And there's, obviously probably an equal amount where none of those things, are satisfied. And I think that there's more than one way to achieve the good feelings in life. And I think that listening to the inherent feelings that we have, on a day-to-day basis, not like the feelings of like depression or anxiety. I'm talking about the actual feelings of like, we're all going to feel sad. We're all going to feel angry. We're all going to feel happy. We're all going to feel, all these different array of emotions, human experiences and emotions. But, if you feel like, yeah, all the positive outweighs the negative, then you're probably on the right path. But if you feel like every single day when you wake up, oh, another day, I have to do this again. Or when you go to bed, you think, oh, I don't want tomorrow to come. Like I just want to, stay in bed from now, and then I hope I never have to get up. Like if you're starting to think those thoughts and feel those feelings, then you're probably on the wrong path. It's probably time to reevaluate where you're at and where you want to be. And like I said before, I'm not trying to say this message in regards to, bring you shame or guilt or anything like that. I'm just trying to let you know that there are systems inherently built into our brains and our bodies that let us know. And they don't let us feel good or happy when something is wrong, because, it's almost as if someone has encoded like a firewall of like there's a malady in the system, and if we don't fix that or correct that, we can't move forward from here. And so it's just something to think about. It's just something to ponder about or maybe reflect about. And I think that a lot of us, need to think about that more often. So as the week winds up here, I know it's Thursday right now. Maybe this is something that you can think about tonight or Friday or over the weekend. And let me know. I'm excited to hear about what you guys think about. Do you think that there is, a creator? Do you think that there is a plan set out for us? Do you believe in that kind of like destiny? Do you think that there is some sort of, like some sort of like a jigsaw puzzle of the universe? And do you think that we all have a spot to fit into? I'm interested to hear what you guys think about, divine intervention and divine planning. And please let me know. So if you listen to this on the podcast platform or anything like that, please do leave a 5-star review, leave a little like a comment or whatever it is, or shoot me a message on Instagram and let me know what you think. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble or any video platform or anything like that, please leave a little comment, comment, subscribe. I'm excited to hear what you guys think. And on that note, much love. Peace out. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. I love you all. Bye.